So my name is Maticus. I'm here with Sunday Afternoon Project and the United Nations for World Logic Day. And we're here with Chelsea. You've been doing some panels today, right? You said you were moderating?
Yeah, so I've moderated a couple of panels. I'm also the co-host of and the founder of World Logic Day for Austin. This is our time to really bring everyone together. And a lot of the panels, you'll see different expertise and local and global partners and thought leaders from around the world.
So tell me about the lead up to this event. You said you guys moved from like a smaller space to this larger space. Like, how was that? How are you feeling about the turnout?
Yeah, I think a really huge thank you to the Long Center. They believed in us early and helped us really fulfill our dream of being in Dell Hall. So it's a packed house, but we've brought together over 800 to 1,000 people in this space this year for Austin. And it's the largest gathering of World Logic Day in over 33 countries around the world.
It's amazing. It's really great what you guys are doing. Like I don't even know how I could set it up. Do you have a normal full-time job?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Logic Tree, which is the corporate partner in connection with World Logic Day
I see.
we host. And then in addition to that, I run my family's foundation. I'm also a doctoral student, and I invest in women in business when I can.
Okay, so you're a busy woman. What are you're passionate about? Like, I know we talked about this with the Louise, but like what really motivates you to get up in the morning when you think like you're like I'm just like overwhelmed? Like, how do you keep yourself going?
So I'd really say very much our company's mission and vision, which is to scale the world's wisdom to give everyone the power of choice and to provide global access to agency and opportunity. So what gets me up and keeps me up at night is how do we get more access, more mentorship, more tools, more technology, more innovation into the world and into the hands of the people that want to make change.
I love that. But I love how you said that it keeps you up at night because that's a huge one. But how do you spread that out? Like, do you delegate that, or how do you make sure that you can achieve those missions that you're setting for yourself?
I really think programming as well as technology and partnerships that are both local and global. So here at World Logic Day, we're convening, yes, hundreds, if not thousands of people this weekend, but each one of them can take back the learnings and the lessons around safeguarding AI, around how logic can safeguard against inequality, around people that they've met and change makers that they can partner with.
How long have you been running Logitree?
So the company was founded actually on the exact same day that the United Nations launched the first World Logic Day. So January 14th, 2019. I came into the company about 2 years ago, and we hosted the first World Logic Day and helped with that partnership to scale logic locally and globally around the world.
It's amazing. Was that by coincidence that it started on the same day?
Complete coincidence. So our CEO and my co-founder, Chris Fronda, really woke up and was like, I just think logic is my calling and my passion, and we feel like it's the missing link with this new era of AI. It was actually even before ChatGPT launched, but under the same premise that we need things that keep human intelligence relevant, he launched the company the same day that the UN, under the same premise, launched that as well.
That's amazing. So we did talk about going into your past and give yourself advice. But what about your future self? What advice would you give your future self if you could?
Keep dreaming, keep being bold, bring others with you to the scale that you want to operate on, and don't stop believing in yourself and your passions.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm Luis with the Sunday Afternoon Project, and I'm here with my good friend Chris. How are you today?
Doing well.
So could you tell us a little bit about what we're doing here, what's happening this weekend with you guys?
Well, first, we are celebrating an initiative started by a Swiss logician and then supported by UNESCO and the CIPSH to celebrate logic. But specifically, we are here today to talk about the intersection of logic and decision-making.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we empower the next generation, our youth, to be able to make better decisions, right? So how do we empower them with these tools that will ultimately help create better opportunities for them?
How do you use logic in a regular day?
Well, we all use logic every single day. So the thing is logic is something that every single one of us uses in the decision-making process. So part of today is, understanding what is logic.
Yeah.
How is it something we use? And then how can we use this tool better to create better outcomes?
You're passionate about giving access to people to the information, to the right information. That's so important.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're passionate about that?
100% my mom. So My mom was an educator. She taught kids with, helped create she was a director of inclusion, so helped see to it that kids K through 5, that no one was left behind.
Yeah.
Kids with special needs, kids of any need, should always have the ability to get the education that should be afforded to them.
Yeah.
And so she dedicated her life to that. And growing up with a mother that cared so much about that, I think I think that aspect of me is 100% because of her.
What advice would you give today to your future self?
To my future self, I would say to heed my own advice that we've shared today. So always continuing to, stay curious, make sure to, continue to keep an open mind. As we get older, we tend to become a little bit more closed-minded.
Yeah.
We kind of get into that spot where we've, figured out life to a degree, and we assume that, now we know how to make decisions.
Yeah.
But sometimes, we see with our kids that then they go on and they make decisions we never would have. And then that leads to even better outcomes for them. So I think it's about, continuing to stay curious and open and, challenging your own logic.
And the last question that I have for you, and this is more personal. What would you say that it's your happiest childhood memory?
Yeah, well, I would say for me, my happiest memories were always just the time spent with family. I always just cared more about that side of it. Maybe one of my happiest memories is I am half Italian. So having had family that lived abroad in Italy, getting to meet, one of the values of having had this opportunity to have a family that lived in a different country is, wow, the way that they view the world is so different. And so one of the things I would say to the next generation, to kids to think about is, traveling is an amazing thing because when you travel and you go somewhere and you meet people from a completely different value system, the way that they view the world is so different, and their viewpoints will help you to see where you might have flaws in your own viewpoints. And so that's I think for me the best memory is having had the opportunity to travel abroad.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And just so you guys know, these questions were on the spot, and you always have the right answer. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Hi, I'm Atticus. I'm here with Sunday Afternoon Project, United Nations. We're here for World Logic Day. I'm here with my friend Barbara. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
And were you on a panel today?
I was a panel addressing the implications of the SDGs, and especially for climate change and all of our work.
How did that go?
Oh, it was a fantastic panel, really great diversity of different industries and areas of activity for folks, and I thought just great input from the panel.
Yeah, do you feel like it was like just to getting conversation started, or you guys are all
Yes.
settled?
Absolutely, just getting the conversation started. There's so much for us in synergies between all of our panelists, between all of the panelists. I wish the conference could go on and that I could meet everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great sense of community here.
It
So we just have a couple questions for you. We're curious, what motivates you? What gets you up or keeps you up at night?
Well, I try not to stay up at night. It's a smart idea to sleep. What gets me up in the morning every day is the energy of transforming our food systems and transforming the lives of everyday people so that we can flourish. I love the flourishing.com work that's going on, and I think that's the direction we should be heading. We're moving beyond sustainable development to regenerative development, so that in all sectors, everything is regenerative, so that then we can sustain from there. So just being on that mission, working with an organization and lots of people that are dedicated to that, that's what gets me up every day.
I love it. I feel like you have amazing energy, but I am curious if, do you ever had a moment of being stagnant, and how do you keep yourself motivated to continue to move forward?
Thank you for that. That's a neat question. Of course, your energy goes up and down, and my energy is up. I have a wonderful family and a great base of support, so I turn to them when my energy is down. I meditate every single day and really try to remember that I am here today and my circumstances, thoughts, and feelings are around me, and that helps kind of keep the calm in all of the storm.
I love that, especially the meditation. I need to do more of that myself.
Yeah, it's a good practice.
I was like, if you're stressed out, please try meditation. So can you tell me what does belonging mean to you?
Belonging is such an become especially such an important word, feeling, action around us. People are going to move and act collectively and more effectively if they feel they belong. I feel like I belong when I'm heard. I can express myself clearly and safely. I feel with like-minded people, you create more of a sense of belonging. But what's really great is when you're not of a similar mind and you still feel close and connected and like there's something to explore, even if it's a difference. That's belonging.
I feel like you give off like such facilitator energy. Would you consider yourself a facilitator?
35 years.
35 years. That's amazing. So has there been, I'm sure there has been, could you give us an example of a time that you've helped someone else feel like they belong?
Oh, I've tried to do that in every single policy and practical process I've ever run. Because when people feel disenfranchised, they get frozen, they won't take action, they get locked into positions and places that nobody wants to be. And so just so many examples of helping a farmer feel like they have a right to protect their land in exactly the way they want to, while the policymakers insist that, in fact, they have to redo their practices in some particular way. So I don't know. Is that a good?
No, that's amazing. This is a little off the cuff, but I just feel like I want to ask you it. Sure. How do you manage opposing perspectives?
Well, I've been in a career of collaborative problem solving for 35 years, and so I've learned to stand in the middle. I've learned that if you can hold space for everyone around you and stand between all the different parties and all the sides, then that really helps bring people together. So that's kind of been my my career, and I don't know. I think it's we're moving from collaboration and just collaboration to collective action. I feel like as a basic moniker for in the country for where we need to go and around the world. And so I'm hoping some of those principles we get to take them with us.
Absolutely, you definitely have the all the characteristics for that. And our last question: if you can go back in time and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
I think it would be to be patient. To be patient and clear, to maintain clarity on purpose and be patient that things come. If you continue to take action, you devote yourself to all the things that you feel called to do, and you do a both and you can't do everything, but you try to do a lot, but be patient with the process and let it unfold. That I know for me, there were times when I might have acted brashly or jumped ahead or thought, oh, it's never going to get done. And in fact, things unfold in a beautiful way. And just to be patient, ultimately, the state of the world is improving by some measures, and you have to take heart in that. So be patient.
How would you say that you would maintain being patient and trying to achieve your goals?
Well, I stay very conscious of both where I want to go and where I think things should go, and also where they are. And so I live with that duality. I live in a dynamic tension of if you hold where you want to be and you also hold where you are, that you'll be drawn to that. And also, I just hold that dialectic is really important. We're learning more and more that it's not an either or. It's not black or white. You live in the gray space, and it's a both and.
I love that. Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing your story with us today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your conference.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much.
Hey, how are you guys? This is Luis with the Sunday Afternoon Project, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Blankendow from Bermuda.
Really nice to meet you, Elizabeth. I love the outfit, the vibe, and everything that you're bringing from Bermuda. I love it. Welcome to Austin. So, what can you tell me about what you're passionate about? Why do you get out of bed every day?
Sure. So I personally am super passionate about people and connection. I am the owner of a high-end events company, and nothing means more to me than people getting together, having genuine connections, and creating new memories. We only have one life, so it's super important to create these amazing memories that you can look back on and remember with the people that you love.
I love that. And yes, of course, if you're in the event industry, community is a big thing, I guess, right?
Yeah, I love it. It makes me happy. It can be quite stressful at times, but when people remember and have a memory of a previous event and say, hey, a few years ago we got to experience my grandmother's birthday, that makes me really happy.
That's amazing. And how does that make you feel like when you are doing something special for someone that is not someone that sometimes you don't even know them, but I guess that how do you get to that point where you're like, okay, this is important for someone?
Sure. I personally am very detail oriented. So after getting to know someone, I feel like I'm a bit observant. So getting to know what they love, what are their preferences, what do they dislike, what's sort of their vibe, and having that to be reflected in the event and just being very authentic in our approach makes, such a big difference.
Wow, we thank you for that, because that's wow, that's amazing that you are doing these events knowing that they're special, like they're special days. So that's great.
And truly being each event totally unique. So that's, where each of us are so unique. So each event should be a reflection of, each person or company that we're working with.
Wow. That was very powerful. When I say belonging to you, what does it mean?
So I guess belonging at a very foundational level can be subjective, but for me, I would say showing up as one's authentic self, being able to have a sense of purpose and connectivity, and just really looking inwardly of like, who am I at the core, without all of the clothes, without all of the titles, beneath the surface level. So I think belonging to me is all of those things.
Great. And if we can go back in time and you can talk to your child version, what would you say to that little dreamer girl that I can see it's still there? So what would you say to that little girl?
I am so proud of her. I feel like the younger version of myself was very shy, very introverted. And, she had big ambitions. And I'm just so, so proud of her. And like, I would tell her, it's all going to be okay.
Oh my God, I love that. That was very warming. You are adorable. Yes. So, yes. Yeah, I love that. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And we'll hope to see you like in every event that we do. So you're officially an ambassador for Sunday Afternoon Project.
I was about to say, and special shout out to the Sunday Afternoon Project for being so amazing and being here to tell everyone's unique story. So we're super grateful to be featured. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
This is Maticus with the United Nations and Saturday Afternoon Project. I'm here with Andrea. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. It's fun to be here.
I heard that you were on a panel. What panel were you on?
I was on the Future of Investing panel. I have been an angel investor for the last decade.
Oh, that's awesome. What kind of companies are you investing in?
I invest in blockchain companies. I invest in space companies, of course, enterprise software, digital health. I have a very, very broad portfolio of companies that are really aspirational and looking to make really important change.
Okay, so is there any like qualifiers usually, or are you just pretty open-minded to who you invest in?
I am quite open-minded, but they, of course, have to have huge market opportunities. And then as I meet founders and I understand the missions and the size of the opportunities, I become just blown away by the impact. For instance, one company I'm an investor in can help with salmon fishing, and so that we can extend the life of the fish for up to like 10 days in the grocery store and make sure that we have less fishing, so it can really impact our seas. So, and that one's called Shinkai Systems, and it's just really important that not only do we create big businesses, but we solve massive global problems.
That's really cool. Is that moving away from like the salmon farming and more to natural fishing?
Actually work with salmon farms as well, but it's a way that when the fish come in and we put them, and you're going to take the head off and use the Shinkai method, which is the Japanese method. And in doing so, it preserves the fish, because if any blood gets into the body, you lose like 10 days of to be able to eat it. And so it ends up being that like a third of fish end up getting thrown away and never getting eaten.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I'm
wait.
also an investor in a company that's going to make satellites. It's called Make Satellites Refuelable. So instead of sending satellites up to space and having to have space debris, we'll be able to refill them, refuel them, and let them keep working. And that one's called Orbit Fab.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
know,
nice.
it's really
Yeah,
amazing.
pretty
There's
good.
technology can do amazing things. I'm also an investor in a company called Carrier One, which is putting up enterprise-grade physical networks in, for instance, Native communities in Canada, Native people, to bring ownership rights to the airwaves and to produce, to have networks in vast areas that were never covered. So there's amazing things that you can do when you pair technology with entrepreneurship, with global opportunities.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like you're doing a lot, and we keep up with you. That's so cool. I feel like you're just giving just a couple of them. Are you competing? You're working with Elon Musk at all?
No, but we're certainly happy to have Elon in Austin. He's amazing, doing amazing things.
Also, definitely open to it. Well, you have so much energy, but I have to know, like, what motivates you? What gets you up in the morning?
Oh, I think that there are amazing opportunities you can think of technology as a threat, or you can think of it as a way to solve problems. And I think if we focus on what we're trying to solve first, and then think about different ways that we want to solve these problems and do them with the private markets and, government funding, of course, too, we can certainly address all of these global challenges while putting people to work, while making money, and really solving these big picture problems. So, there's a lot of talk here about, like, is AI going to make it so that people don't have work to do? And I just don't believe that. I just think we just keep creating more and more and more opportunities, the more inventive and participatory we are. So I think it's a mindset.
Absolutely, and I think with AI as well as many of these things that are coming out, it's something that hasn't been done before. So have you ever found yourself in a place of trying to give a new entrepreneur courage to take that step, or what advice would you give them, or something that hasn't been done?
I think the world is always changing. I think that AI and distributed systems and technologies, they've been changing for the last hundreds of years. If you wouldn't have embraced the Industrial Revolution, look what would have happened. You can't stop because you're afraid that change is happening. You have to understand, like, I'm 48 years old. I have to understand what's coming and reskill myself, make sure that I understand what's happening, take advantage of free education. I think it's amazing that podcasts and Khan Academy and all these things, they're all free and open. Discord communities, free and open. There are so many ways to learn and make yourself relevant that if you're sitting at home thinking AI is going to take my job away, instead of participating in the new economy, I think that maybe in some ways you need to change your attitude, not technology needs to stop evolving.
Yeah, so you have to move, or it will move without you.
Or the world will move with you. It's a very, very, it's just the world. It's the world we live in.
You said 48, I would never have guessed that. Wow, you look so young, especially being involved in so many companies. I can imagine how stressful that might be for
You know what? It's stressful, but it's also exciting. And because it's all my own capital, every check that I write and with my husband is very deeply personal. But it also means that these companies get our full commitment, full interest, full network, passion, all of the different things.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're making some amazing impact.
Well,
So,
thank you so much.
of
It's good
course,
to be here.
of course.
I love being here.
Okay, so I have two more questions for you.
Yes.
Our second question is what's belonging mean to you?
Well, I don't know that. Okay.
What gives you a sense of belonging?
Well, first of all, I think that a lot of people are waiting for an invitation. I don't think that an invitation ever really comes. I think you just show up and start participating
Yes.
and prove your worth. So I feel like you show up, you participate, you volunteer, you make friends, you deliver, and you belong.
That's awesome. That's definitely a new perspective that we haven't heard today.
Well, I know that there's a lot of, we need to outreach and we need to find things, and all of those things are true, but ultimately it's you who has to show up for yourself.
You have to be vulnerable. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Is there any advice you'd give someone that maybe is having trouble finding a sense of belonging?
Well, I think that you have to know your purpose. And then here in Austin, I mean, I just feel like I've lived here for 24 years in this community, and so I'm certain that this community is special. But there are so many resources here for entrepreneurs and for showing up and for making friends that I don't know that it's this way in every community, but I certainly know that in Austin we're very, very open to wanting to meet and include new people. So yeah, so so come here, you know. But knowing what your purpose is really important. If you have to feel excited about something, because that's just a way, because I can't help somebody if they can't give me a little bit of like, what do you like? Because once you give me a little nugget, I can take it.
I can't steer you. Yeah,
I can't steer you if I have nothing to steer you with. You know?
This is definitely the perfect city to be in if you want to start a business.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
There's so many resources. I agree with you. And our last question, I'm sure you probably get this all the time.
What?
But say you can go back in time and tell your younger self one piece of advice. What would it be?
You have to be ready for rejection and failure. I tell my kids this all the time. My daughter wants to be a stand-up comic. So
Listen.
I don't know that anyone listens, but everyone has to take their own. Actually, that's one of the other things as being a parent is you can speak till you're blue in the face, but people have to have the opportunity to learn for themselves. You can tell them something, but you just have to experience it for yourself. But really, you have to make things happen. You have to put yourself at risk. You have to go out and do it. And the world appreciates innovators. The world appreciates people who take a chance. The world needs more people like that. So you have to participate. Otherwise, it won't come to you.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us today. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how are you guys? I'm Luis with the Sunday Afternoon Project, and I'm here with my new friend, Melissa. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for sharing what you're going to be sharing with us. So the first question that I have for you is, what is Melissa passionate about?
Oh, I am passionate about helping people. I think it's so important to help others because you never know what opportunities can come from that and how you might need that person in return.
Yes, I love that. When I say belonging, what comes to your head? How would you define belonging?
Being accepted or feeling accepted, most definitely. It's for me, when I went to college, I joined a sorority and I gained a sense of community and I felt accepted into that community almost instantaneously. So belonging is like finding your tribe almost to me.
Do you believe in the power of building community and why?
Yes, I believe in that. Because you're going to have different communities for different things. So like if you're a mom, I have a mom community, right? If I like to do fashion, I have friends that I talk to fashion about. So I have a fashion community. I have friends that like to cook. I'll go out, reach out to them for recipes. So I have a cooking community. So community is definitely important depending on what your interest is.
I love that because it's all about finding commonalities, I guess. Yeah, I really like that. The last question that I have for you is, if we could travel back in time and we can sit down with that little dreamer girl, Melissa, what advice would you give her and why?
The advice I would give her is try it all. Don't be afraid. Be fearless. Take that leap and don't look back.
Wow, that's super powerful. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your story. Yes, of course.